Hey everyone, today we're diving into the world of business, but we're going to do it by looking at something you probably see and even interact with every single day. Let's get right into it. Seriously, just think about it. That snack you grabbed, the person who sold it to you, well, that simple little moment, that was a business transaction. And believe it or not, it's the very heartbeat of our whole economy. We're going to use that one tiny moment to unpack something huge.
So that leads us to the big question, right? We get that buying a snack is, well, just buying a snack. But what's the line? When does an everyday activity actually become a business?
And honestly, the definition is pretty straightforward. At its absolute core, a business is just an exchange. Somebody has something, a product or a service, and somebody else wants to buy it. The whole point is to meet a customer's need and, of course, to make a profit, to bring in more money than you spent to make it happen.
And here's the thing. It doesn't matter if it's a giant corporation or a tiny street stall, they all have these things in common. You've got the exchange of goods, that drive to make a profit, the absolute need to keep your customers satisfied, and then there's the big one, risk. There's always a chance it might not work out. It's really a balancing act between all four of these. Okay, so businesses usually fall into one of three main buckets. First, you have trading businesses. Think of a local shop. They just buy stuff and sell it as is. Simple. Then there's service businesses. A hairdresser is a perfect example. They're selling their skill, their time. And finally, manufacturing, like a bakery. They're actually taking raw ingredients and creating something totally new. Now, out of all those types, there's one that's literally everywhere we look, and it kind of mixes all three of those categories together. And that, of course, is the food business. It's the absolute perfect way to see all these ideas in action. So, to make this super clear, let's zoom right in. We're going to put a spotlight on someone who is, without a doubt, one of the most important business owners in any community, the street food vendor. Let's see how their day-to-day work ticks all those business boxes. I mean, think about your local akara seller in the morning, or that suya spot that pops up at night. These folks aren't just selling food, they are full-blown entrepreneurs running a complete operation right there on the street. They're basically a manufacturer, a trader, and a service provider all rolled into one person. Just picture a typical day for them. It's like a mini business cycle happening over and over again. It all starts with buying the raw ingredients, the beans, the meat, whatever. Then comes the prep work, actually making the food. After that, it's time to sell it to customers, that direct exchange. And the day isn't over until they've managed the money, counting everything up to make sure they actually made a profit. And they do this every single day. So our street vendor is an amazing example, but really they're just one piece of a much, much bigger puzzle. So now let's pull the camera back and take a look at the incredible range of businesses you can find in the food world. First, the obvious one, restaurants. And this is a huge category, right? It could be anything from your favorite local buka to a giant fast food place. The main thing they have in common is that they give you a place to sit down and eat. Then you've got catering services. These guys are the pros when it comes to making food on a massive scale. They're usually working behind the scenes, cooking up these huge meals for big events. Think weddings, big parties, you name it. Fast food? Well, that's a whole different ballgame. The name says it all, right? It's all about speed and convenience. Their entire system is designed to get a meal in your hands as fast as humanly possible. And that brings us right back where we started, to mobile food businesses. This includes everything from fancy food trucks to simple wheelbarrow vendors. Just like our street seller, the key is that they're not stuck in one place. They can go wherever the people are. Okay, so we've covered what a business is and all the different shapes it can take. But so what? Why should we care? What's the real impact of just one tiny food stall on an entire community? Let's really hone in on that idea, just one. A single person selling food on the street. You might think it's not a big deal, but what kind of a ripple effect can that one small business actually have? Well, the impact is way bigger than you probably think. On the surface, yeah, they're providing people with a meal. But let's go a layer deeper. Where do they get their ingredients? Probably from other local suppliers, right? So they're supporting other businesses. And maybe they hire a helper, so that's a job created. The money they earn supports their family, it pays for rent, for school, for everything. Now imagine that, multiplied by thousands of other small businesses just like them. Suddenly, you're not looking at just a food stall. You're looking at the very engine of the local economy. It's what keeps a community going. So, Hopefully, the next time you walk down your street, you'll see things a little differently. You won't just see someone selling something. You'll see this hidden world of business whirring away, a whole network that's shaping your daily life in ways you might have never even thought about before.
And that leaves me with one final question for you to think about. Next time you're out, really look around your own neighborhood. What's that small business, that food vendor, that little repair shop, that market stall that you've walked past 1,000 times without a second thought? Because now you can see it for what it really is, a complex, vital operation. And that right there is where the real story of business actually begins.